Some F-150 features were sold as convenience. After 20 years working on Fords, I see them differently. They're repair bills with buttons attached. I'm not here to tell you your truck is bad. The F-150 is one of the most capable vehicles ever built. I'm here to tell you that some of the features Ford added to make it more convenient are the same ones that bring it through my shop door. Not because they're poorly engineered, because owners trust them too much. And Ford designed the maintenance schedule around the warranty period, not the lifespan of the truck. I'm RJ. Here are 12 F-150 features I've watched cause expensive repairs. Number 1 on this list connects all the others. Let's get into it. Number 12, auto four-wheel drive. And the problem isn't the feature, it's how convenient Ford made it. Ford made four-wheel drive so easy that most owners stop thinking about it when they actually need it. Turn the dial to auto and the truck decides for itself. In theory, that's smart. In practice, a lot of F-150 owners leave it in auto four-wheel drive all year, on dry pavement, in summer, with no load in the bed, every day. The four-wheel drive system on the F-150 was designed to engage when traction demands it, not to run as a permanent driving mode. When it stays active all day on dry pavement, the transfer case and front driveline generate heat and wear components that were built for intermittent use. The front differential fluid, the transfer case fluid, neither is a lifetime fluid, and most owners who leave the truck in auto four-wheel drive all year have never touched either one. I've pulled transfer cases and front differentials from F-150s with 60,000 miles that looked like they had twice that. Dark fluid, metal particles, wear consistent with continuous operation in conditions that don't require four-wheel drive. Transfer case service runs $30 to $40. Waiting until something fails costs significantly more. Ford calls it convenience. I call it another thing that needs maintenance most owners don't know about. Number 11, active grille shutters. Most F-150 owners don't know they exist until they hear the clicking. Starting with the 2015 F-150, Ford added active grille shutters behind the front grille. These are motorized vanes that open and close automatically to manage airflow. At highway speed, they close to reduce aerodynamic drag and improve fuel economy. When the engine needs cooling, they open to maximize airflow. Ford made the truck more aerodynamic and more efficient without the driver doing anything. The problem is that these shutters live behind the grille where road debris, rocks, and insects hit them daily. The most common failure is a small plastic stop tab on the shutter frame that breaks from impact or from thermal cycling. When that tab goes, the actuator motor can't find its calibration endpoints and cycles over and over trying to find them. The result is a repetitive clicking noise from the front of the truck every time you start the engine. Codes P059F and P05A2 appear. The check engine light comes on. I've had F-150 owners bring trucks in convinced they had a timing chain issue from the clicking. It was the grille shutters. If the shutter gets stuck in the closed position and you're towing in hot weather, you're also looking at a potential cooling problem. The shutter assembly runs $100 to $500 depending on which unit failed. The plastic tab that causes most of the failures costs next to nothing. The entire actuator assembly costs more than it should for what it is. A feature most owners never knew was there, causing a repair most owners never saw coming. Number 10, electric running boards. Ford made getting into the truck easier. They also added motors, sensors, and wiring that live underneath the truck in mud, road salt, and ice. Salt gets into wiring connectors. Ice packs into the hinge mechanisms. Motor gears strip after a few winters. I've seen running boards that deployed fine but couldn't retract, boards frozen in the down position, boards that failed entirely after 2 northern winters. The motor alone from a Ford dealer runs over $1,000 per side. Not both sides, one. A customer came in last fall with both sides stuck down. His quote for factory parts and installation was over $2,000. He asked if he could just remove them. I told him yes. The feature works great until it meets its 3rd winter. Then it becomes a decision about how much convenience was worth. Number 9, the aluminum body. Ford solved the rust problem and created a completely different one. A customer backed into a concrete column last year. The repair on a comparable steel truck would have run around $2,500. The aluminum F-150 quote came in at $8,400. He called 2 shops before that one. The first said they couldn't work on it at all. The second had the equipment, but had a 4-week backlog. The 2015 redesign was a genuine engineering achievement. Ford cut 700 pounds from the F-150 by switching from steel to military-grade aluminum alloy for the cab and bed. Better payload, better towing, better fuel economy. The truck doesn't rust the way steel trucks do. The problem is largely solved. The new problem is that steel can often be reshaped. Aluminum usually gets replaced. The shops that can do this correctly had to invest $50,000 to $100,000 in specialized equipment, certified training, rivet guns, clean room separation from steel work areas, and aluminum dust extraction. Many shops can't do it at all. If aluminum dust from a nearby grinder lands on a bare steel component during repair and isn't cleaned properly, you get galvanic corrosion that bleeds through the paint within months. Ford made the truck lighter and better. They also made a fender bender significantly more expensive, and finding a shop certified to fix it correctly is harder than most owners expect before they need one. The aluminum body is a better truck. Finding someone qualified to repair it is a different story. Number 8. The panoramic roof. Ford made the cabin feel bigger and more open. They also cut a large opening in one of the structurally strongest parts of the truck. The panoramic glass roof option on upper F-150 trims adds real value. More light, a different feel in the cab, a feature that helps justify the King Ranch or Platinum trim price. I understand why buyers check that box. What follows that choice is a roof with drainage channels that clog, seals that crack after a few years of heat cycling, especially in climates with real temperature swings, tracks that collect debris. When the drainage channels back up and water finds a different path, it doesn't go where water's supposed to go. It goes into the headliner, into the electrical systems, into the floor. I've seen panoramic roof leaks on F-150s that caused water damage to the interior that far exceeded the cost of fixing the roof itself. The roof repair alone runs $3,000 or more. The downstream interior damage can go higher. The truck also takes longer to heat up and cool down because of the glass area. Ford made the cabin feel bigger. The drain tubes require regular cleaning to keep it that way. Luxury feature, luxury repair bill. Check the drains every spring before they remind you to. If you want the maintenance schedule I actually recommend in the shop, not just what's printed in the owner's manual, that's exactly why I put together the Ford Longevity Blueprint. Links in the description. Number 7, auto start stop on the EcoBoost. Every red light is a mini cold start on a turbocharged engine. Ford made the truck stop at every red light to save fuel. The EPA fuel economy figure on the window sticker reflects testing conditions where extended idle time is common. In those conditions, shutting the engine off helps the number. In real-world F-150 driving, the calculation is more complicated. Here's what happens every time auto start-stop restarts the engine. The cam phasers on the 2.7 and 3.5 EcoBoost are controlled by oil pressure. During a normal startup, oil pressure builds within a second or two, and the phasers receive lubrication before they're asked to work. During an auto start-stop restart, the engine fires immediately, under load, before oil pressure is fully recovered. The phasers see repeated low-pressure restarts. Do that 40 or 50 times during a city commute, every day, for 3 years. I've seen 2018 and 2019 EcoBoosts with 40,000 miles showing cam phaser wear that belonged on a 100,000-mile engine. Every one of those owners drove in stop-and-go traffic daily with auto start-stop running. The button on the dash that turns it off resets every ignition cycle. FordScan can disable it permanently. Free software, $25 adapter. That's the fix. Ford called it a fuel-saving feature. What it actually does to an EcoBoost in city traffic is a different conversation. Ford calls it efficiency. I call it cam phaser wear at 40,000 miles. Number 6, the plastic coolant fittings on the EcoBoost. The part that costs $12 and strands a $60,000 truck. Ford routed coolant through the turbos on the 3.5 and 2.7 EcoBoost using quick connect fittings called Jiffy Tight connectors. These plastic push-to-connect fittings are convenient during assembly. They're also one of the most common sources of coolant leaks on these engines. Heat cycling degrades the O-rings inside these fittings. The plastic housing ages. After 60 to 100,000 miles, these fittings start weeping coolant. The sweet smell is usually what owners notice first. The leak hits the hot exhaust components and cooks off before it reaches the ground, so there's often no puddle. The owner just notices the coolant reservoir getting lower and keeps topping it off. Left unchecked, a coolant leak near a turbo can escalate. The turbo bearings run on both oil and coolant. Reduce coolant circulation and you add heat to an already hot component. I've had customers come in for what they thought was a small leak to find that turbo damage had already started. The fitting and O-ring repair itself runs $400 to $1,200 depending on which fittings are involved and how accessible they are. The turbo damage it can cause costs significantly more. Ford made the assembly line more efficient. The fittings are a known failure point that owners need to know about. Sweet smell of coolant after a drive? Don't ignore it. The $12 fitting causes $1,000 repairs when it's left alone. Number 5, direct injection and carbon buildup. No fuel washes the intake valves. Not injector cleaner, not premium fuel, nothing. Ford made the EcoBoost more efficient by injecting fuel directly into the combustion chamber instead of through the intake port. Direct injection eliminates fuel from ever touching the intake valves. On a traditional port injection engine, fuel passing over the intake valves on every cycle acts as a solvent, constantly washing away oil deposits. On a direct injection engine, nothing does that job. What arrives at the intake valves instead is oil vapor from the PCV system, recirculating through the intake and baking onto hot valve faces with every heat cycle. Over 30, 40, 50,000 miles, this builds into deposits that restrict airflow and choke the engine. The truck loses low-end response. The idle gets slightly rough. Fuel economy dips. There are no codes because the engine isn't failing. It's suffocating, slowly. I scoped a 2021 F-150 2.7 at 58,000 miles last year. Owner said it felt progressively flat for about 18 months. No codes, no lights. The intake valves had significant carbon buildup. The fix is walnut media blasting. Intake manifold off, crushed walnut shell media blasted into the valve ports to strip the carbon without scratching aluminum. Shop cost runs $400 to $800. The truck came out pulling like it had 20,000 miles again. Ford made the engine more efficient. They didn't give it a self-cleaning mechanism for the one problem that creates. No warning light, no codes, just a truck that stopped feeling like itself somewhere around 40,000 miles. Number 4, cam phasers on the EcoBoost. The feature isn't the problem. Oil quality and oil intervals are. Variable cam timing is one of the reasons the EcoBoost makes the power it does. The phasers adjust valve timing on demand. More torque at low RPM, more power up high. Ford made a smaller engine punch well above its displacement by building intelligence into the valve train. The phasers run on oil pressure. Clean oil, they respond precisely. Degraded oil, they stick, develop slop, and the cold start rattle begins. I've seen this play out the same way dozens of times. Owner extends oil changes to 8,000 or 9,000 miles because the monitor said it was fine. The monitor is calibrated for average conditions, not for a turbocharged engine in stop-and-go traffic. By 70,000-80,000 miles, the phasers are showing wear that belongs at 150,000. The repair runs $3,200 minimum if caught before serious damage. If the owner ignored the cold start rattle and kept driving, additional timing components may also need replacement, and the bill doubles. I had a customer with a 2016 3.5 who ignored that rattle for 8 months. The cold start clatter disappeared after 30 seconds of warm-up each time, so he assumed it was normal. By the time he came in, the timing system needed complete replacement. $4,200. Against under $1,000 if he had come in when the noise started. The rattle that disappears after warm-up is not normal. It's the phaser telling you it needs attention. Number 3, the 10-speed 10R80 transmission. Not the transmission itself, the words Ford used to describe the fluid inside it. Lifetime transmission fluid. Those 3 words have cost more F-150 owners more money than almost any other feature on this list. Ford put a 10-speed automatic in the F-150 that is genuinely capable. It handles towing loads, shifts smoothly under normal conditions, and can last a very long time when it's maintained. Ford's service documentation calls the transmission fluid lifetime. The implication is that it doesn't need to be changed. After 20 years in the shop, I've come to believe that lifetime really means long enough to get through the warranty, not 200,000 miles, not even 100,000. Transmission fluid degrades. It carries heat, it carries metal particles from normal wear, it thickens as it ages, and its friction modifiers break down. By 60,000 miles on an F-150 that's done any towing, the fluid in that 10R80 looks nothing like what went in at the factory. I had a customer come in at 92,000 miles with every service record in order. Every interval met exactly as Ford specified. The transmission was starting to shudder between 40 and 50 miles per hour. The torque converter clutch was damaged. He had followed the manual perfectly. The manual didn't tell him to change the transmission fluid. That repair was $4,200. A drain and fill at 45,000 miles costs about $100. The math is not complicated. Ford calls it lifetime fluid. I call it a warranty period fluid with a misleading name. Number 2, the twin-turbo EcoBoost and everything that lives around it. The feature isn't the turbos. The problem is that everything nearby runs at temperatures that accelerate wear. Ford made the F-150 lighter, more powerful, and more fuel efficient with the EcoBoost. I'm not criticizing the decision. I'm telling you what I've watched happen to the trucks that don't account for the thermal environment these engines create. The 2017 3.5 came in last spring. Owner was convinced the turbo was failing. Boost felt soft. Slight coolant smell after highway driving. When I got under it, I found 2 coolant fittings weeping near the passenger turbo. The fittings themselves were a $40 fix, but the coolant had been seeping onto hot exhaust components for months. The owner had been topping off the reservoir every few weeks and assumed it was normal. By the time he came in, there was beginning heat damage to the turbo housing. The fittings were the root cause, the turbo damage was the consequence. The turbos run hot. Everything near them runs hot. Coolant lines, gaskets, vacuum lines, intercooler hoses, everything in that engine bay is exposed to sustained heat every time the truck is driven hard. I've replaced coolant fittings at 70,000 miles. Exhaust manifold studs that corroded and snapped in the aluminum head. Intercooler hose clamps that loosened from thermal cycling. Each one is manageable alone. They add up. And the turbo itself, when it fails, runs $2,200 to $3,000 per side. Ford made a smaller engine do the work of a bigger one. Everything in that environment needs more attention than the manual suggests. The turbo does the work, everything around it pays the price. And number 1, the single biggest feature that quietly destroys F-150 reliability. And it isn't something you can see. It's the word lifetime in Ford's owner's manual. After 20 years working on Fords, I've learned something. Parts don't fail because they get old. They fail because owners trust the word lifetime. Lifetime transmission fluid, lifetime transfer case fluid, lifetime differential fluid, lifetime PTU fluid. None of those fluids know what the word lifetime means. The transfer case fluid runs without a filter. Metal particles from the break-in period and from normal wear circulate through the bearings every time you drive. Ford's service schedule for normal driving stretches the first change far out. Owners with F-150s that see trail use, towing, or water crossings are running those same particles through precision components on fluid that was formulated for the first 30,000 miles, not the next 150,000. The front differential, rear differential, and PTU follow the same logic, designed to survive the warranty period, not designed with the next 100,000 miles in mind. I've changed differential fluid on F-150s at 30,000 miles and found metal particles that should have been out of the system at 20,000. The first change matters because it removes the break-in debris. Skipping it means that debris stays in the system and becomes wear debris from the components it's damaging. Ford made a remarkable truck. They also made ownership sound simpler than it is. Lifetime fluid is a marketing term, not a mechanical guarantee. Every fluid in your F-150's drivetrain has a useful service life. When that life ends, the component it was protecting starts its own countdown. The biggest mistake isn't believing your truck will last forever, it's believing the fluids inside it will. If this video helped you keep a little more money in your pocket, and you'd like to support the channel, hit the join button below. I'll see you in the next one.